Hi everyone, I'm your host, owner, and creator of The Mix. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before I continue with my commentary, reaction, and discussion and opinion on the subject matter at hand, I need for you all to like, share, subscribe to The Mix, like, share, subscribe to my channel. Also drop a comment, drop a comment, drop a comment. As you can see what this video is going to be about, yes, was Iyanla, was she correct? Excuse me if I'm not saying her name correctly. But was she correct about women? Women in general? I think she was specifically speaking to black women, but the question remains, is Ayala correct? Women being too masculine nowadays. I'm about to play this clip for you guys. So just to give you a backstory on where I'm going. And as you can see, what happened with the young lady and her husband, she offed her husband on Facebook Live. So this question came about from that situation. So let me go ahead and play this clip, and I'll jump right back into my opinion about the entire matter.
My experience and my observation is that most women are men in skirts, meaning that the way their presence, their being, the way we roll in the world, it's very masculine because we've been conditioned and programmed out of our feminine. And when I say, I don't mean feminist movement in the world, I want to be a fireman or a football player. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how to be a woman in your being. What is the distinction between feminine power and masculine power? And we've been conditioned and trained to be men in skirts. We do everything like men. We compete like men. You know, I said this on the R Spot a few weeks ago. I said, most women want their boyfriend to act like their girlfriend, chatting, shopping. But when the man comes home, what they meet is another dude. My experience.
Okay, there you have it. This was a great interview she did on that was a clip from the Breakfast Club, and it was a great interview. You have to watch the entire interview to get a better understanding of the context she was speaking of. And the reason why I correlate this horrible, horrific, just tragedy to what Anyala was stating is because she touched on too in that interview about emotions and love language, something like that. I'm just paraphrasing. Not understanding the love language of one another, men and women. And to my understanding, this guy that was married to, what is her name? I want to get the names correct. This was just a horrific story. She's definitely incarcerated. I wouldn't expect anything less. This is just a sad story. Her name is Khadijah Brown. She's 28 years old, and she, offed her husband, Jeremy Brown. Wow. Based on some of the stories I've read over the internet, not sure how true all of it is or how accurate it is, but based on my observation of some of the articles and just comments and commentary and comments that Jeremy was a good father, a good husband. And like all relationships, there's probably some trust issues, things of that nature, some sketchiness going on here and there, whatever the case may be. However, I don't believe Jeremy had any type of domestic violence under his belt, under the background or whatever. But it just seems like he and his the late Jeremy Brown seems like he and his wife, they had issues. They had issues, but they, all the kids, I think they were not a blended family, and all the kids were by Jeremy. And it just seems like, and the reason why I mentioned Iyanla is because she touched on, again, like I stated, masculine women, and then also in her interview, she stated something about, and like I said, I'm paraphrasing, something about understanding each other's love language. Everything is not an argument. Women, we have power, and I'm going to raise my hand on this. I had no idea about being feminine and masculine. I wasn't taught that, and I pretty much started my introduction to feminine and masculinity and all of that through Kevin Samuels, the late great Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. I like Kevin Samuels. I'm a woman and I like Kevin Samuels. Yes. And I will always share a lot of his messages. And I got some pushback, some feedback, not in a good favor, but I didn't care because I try to be one of accountability. So that's the only way, in my opinion, that one can grow when you're accountable. I'm not saying condemn yourself, because I was in a point in time in my life where I would condemn myself for my F ups and all of this and all of that. But nevertheless, in order to move forward, I do believe accountability starts with self. Not to sit up here and bash yourself and punish yourself, none of that, but just recognizing what the issue is and doing what is necessary to action the work to correct it. And I had no idea about feminine power, masculine power. I wasn't taught that. I wasn't at all. I wasn't. That's a whole nother subject for another day. But yeah, back to what Khadijah and Jeremy, the late Jeremy. I would say this is an example that can correlate with what Ayala was stating in terms of, and again, I'm paraphrasing about, knowing each other's love language, knowing how to bow out gracefully, learning that just because this is happening, or maybe your mate or partner is reacting, we're going to say to a dispute, or about you not coming home or coming in late, it shouldn't not it should not have escalated to this. That means we're dealing with some type of emotional, toxic issues from within. If you don't know how to conflict resolution, de-escalate, or just bow gracefully. And a lot of times, a lot of things are not, and I call it picking and choosing your battles. And I had to learn this. A lot of things were not, a lot of things are not meant to be debated or argued, or it's just, you bow gracefully. And not to say you ignoring it, it's a time and a place, and revisit things when cooler heads prevail. I do believe Khadijah was probably embarrassed on Facebook Live. She felt humiliated, embarrassed, and this is not justifying for what she did. And she felt rejected, and that can conjure up some emotions in a female that's unstable. Like some type of emotional instability, and a reaction could be unfavorable for all parties involved. And again, I'm not giving her or making up any excuses. And I say that to say she has a lot of issues within that needs to be dealt with and checked. It looks like they probably may have been going through some issues. This is not the first go around, but I don't understand what problem prompts her to get a firearm to prove a point or whatever. And I don't think what she did was intentional. I do believe it was reckless, though. And this shows you how things can go 0 to 100 real quick, real quick. And according to different reports that I've read, that Jeremy was a doting father. His kids loved him, and this all happened in the house. So I really didn't want to touch on this because this is just so tragic. And their kids, they have kids, and what disturbed me the most, I didn't watch the entire clip, but just her mom in the background co-signing the foolery. It's like, where's the rational thinking at, you know? And I'm not stating all this to judge any of them, but just giving you guys trying to give you guys an understanding where how things can go left real quick when there's not any cooler heads, when there's not rational thinking, when there's not a voice of reason. And I've been in situations like that before. Thank God I'm no longer in. Whew, and I could have been Khadijah, or my partner could have been a Khadijah, but in a male sense. Thankfully, we never own firearms or whatever, but you know, you get my point. It could have happened in different situations, unfortunately, and I'm not stating this to promote any type of violence or anything because I'm totally against that. But I'm just using a little bit of my story to correlate with this. This is sad though. Across the board, I know Khadijah is. She probably wants to just end it all right now because wow. I do, and I really do believe she loved her husband. She loved her husband, but her emotions were unchecked. Her mental emotions and rational thinking, it was out of place. It was imbalanced, which caused this. And then you're on live. I believe if she wasn't on Facebook Live, I don't even think this would have happened. I don't think it would have happened. I don't think she would have went for a firearm. I don't. Wow. As I stated before in some of my other videos, social media, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. This is an example of a curse. A gift is when you can use your voice or use the social network as for good, you know, and to do good and to possibly help someone or reach someone, or you know, you get my point. But yeah, this is the gift and the curse of social media. And Iyanla has a great point. Nowadays, and I'm not going to even say nowadays, it's been like this for a long period of time. For I would say, it, now that I'm thinking about, I'm in my latter years, I would say all of this feminine type of stuff. It's okay to, when they say feminine, not like, oh, we could, I, when I had feminine wrong. I had feminine, my mindset and how I was raised, the feminine was like, oh, I can, excuse me, I can do this for myself. I could buy this and that, and I'm independent and blah, blah, blah. But I miss that's what I perceive to be feminine because that's what I was exposed to. Oh, you don't need a man to do this. You could do it on your. Heck no. I was taught absolutely wrong. It's okay to be able to provide for yourself and all of that. But it's a time and place, ladies. It's a time and place. Oh no, no. Now that I'm in my latter years, I'm like kicking myself in a tootie. Boop boop. I may have still been married if I knew how to, you know, do things a little differently in the power of a woman. I may. That's a strong may. I may still been married, but you know, as Iyanla stated in that particular interview, and you have to go and listen to the entire interview because the context matters. We have, as women, we have power, like that power that could move a room. We do, and I never realized that until my latter years. And like I said, and I wasn't taught that as well or exposed to that. And like I said, Kevin Samuels was the one who introduced me to just things of that, you know, the when you were taught certain things in your younger years and through this feminine movement, like, oh, we can work, we can do this. Yeah, it's good. That's all good, fine and dandy. Oh no. And have babies and no, that's too much. That's too much. Only by the grace of God, I would say, oh my goodness, that I've made it this far. But that's absolutely too much. Absolutely too much. And whoever has daughters, raise your daughters to recognize their feminine power and energy. Not to say to be totally self reliant on a man. No, but listen to Kevin Samuels. Go listen to all his old videos. That's where you can start, women. But yeah, Iyanla is correct. We as women, we have power. And I believe we are more masculine. And it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. Look at Khadijah. Why? I mean, it's gotten worse. Look how this family is just torn apart. And this happened when the kids was in the household. So I cannot even imagine their thought process. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel bad for everyone involved because I do not believe if she was on Facebook Live, this would have happened. But she exercised her masculine energy by going to pull out a firearm. You can't make a man do what you want them to do in no way, shape, or form, with or without a firearm. And that's what women need to realize. But there's a way to get a guy to subscribe, I guess, to your plan, you know, or hash things out in an indirect manner that your power exudes that, and Khadijah wasn't able to do that. And then, like I said, you have her mom in the background gaslighting the situation. It's like, what? But like I said, I do not believe this would have happened this way on live. And I believe that was her first time ever doing something like that. My heart goes out to the kids. My heart goes out to Jeremy's family, if he has any siblings, parents that are living. This is just such a tragedy for everyone. And modern women, we need to get it together. We need to get it together. It's a way, it's a time and place. Things can be done and de escalated without exercising masculine energy. Like Ayala said, we're like men in skirts, you know. We're like, we want our man to be our girl buddy. That's not how it's supposed to be. And a lot of times, a lot of men, what I've learned too, they don't give a crap about this or that. I'll have to learn that in my latter years. Remember, I was not taught certain things. I was not exposed to certain things in my younger years. So yeah, I couldn't dare to be in a household with any guy this in my life that cannot exercise his masculinity in every way, shape, or form in the areas that is expected of him, while I exercise my feminine energy. So yeah, but yeah, what are your thoughts on this matter? Do you believe Ayana was correct? You heard the video, you heard the audio, the clips, the excerpts from that interview she did. Go on over and listen to the entire interview. It was a great interview. She raised some great points about understanding one another as in while you're in a relationship. One misunderstanding can turn into an argument, and it doesn't even have to be an argument. It's recognizing one another's love language, emotions, and as she stated before, Ayana stated in that interview, she said something to the fact that a lot of relationships now are transactional, meaning if that means that if you do this for me, that means that you love me. But as soon as you don't do this for me, that means that you don't love me or that you don't like me, when that's not the case. That's not the case. It doesn't take away, that doesn't negate. It's like she stated, and again, you have to listen to the entire interview. She stated a lot of relationships today are transactional. And she's absolutely correct. I had to ponder on that. I'm like, wow, wow. I think 50 Cent has a song. I don't know if it's 21 Questions or something, but or the lyrics go, if I still, if I, would you love me today if I didn't have this, or would you love me blah 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 if I didn't have that? I don't know offhand or whatever. I think it's 50 Cent, but that to me correlates with what Iyanla is stating as well, you know. And again, I'm paraphrasing. So, yeah, if I didn't have this, would you still love me? If I didn't have that, or if I didn't do this or do that, would you still love me? Would you still like me? You know? So this is something that needs to be really studied, um, and hopefully the next generations get it. I can see where a lot of relationships are transactional. Some people are with people because they are afraid to be alone in terms of financial. They don't want to foot the bills in the majority of certain areas. And some people are with others because, in that they really don't want to be with the person. It's because they don't want to, get out there and start over again, which I guess that's probably understandable depending on where you're at. But yeah, relationships I do believe are more so transactional. It's what you can do for me or what I can do for you, as opposed to understanding a person just because, okay, just because one day you missed bringing or just texting something doesn't mean that you're switching up, or that you don't love the person, that you don't like the person. Now I can see if it was a total switch up or dip, and then the person, then it's there, that's a red flag, there's an issue. But transactional is the only way, if and to my understanding what transactional is, the only way I will feel that you like or love me or want to be with me, if you do ABCD, or vice versa, ABCD, when you have to stick to a plan, a transaction. Not to say that you don't do things, not to say that it's not reciprocated. Um, where am I going with this? And I believe that with relationships being transactional, most of them are, that it seems like that the person, the individuals, they just can't survive without a certain action being done. And not to say that you don't woe your partner, or you don't have date night, or you don't do this and that, but it could be a mixture of things, because relationships are actions, not so, but that shouldn't negate the fact that you don't, that shouldn't, if something doesn't occur that you're used to, that shouldn't mean that your partner loves you any less or doesn't like you based on that. When that could be that it wasn't the right time, they had a bad couple days or whatever, or something like that. Immediately, it shouldn't be, oh, there's an issue, when it that is likely not the case. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I do believe Khadijah, this is what happens, masculine, feminine energy. As women, we can't force a man to do ABCD, and vice versa. Men can't force women to do ABCD. And when you start to allow your emotions to go unchecked and take control, and your thinking to become irrational, this is what you get. Something that should not have ever happened. So let me know, Khadijah. I think they did set a bill for her. Um, it was set at 750,000, I think. So that's what, 75,000. Wow, this is just sad. I'm just wow. And no one wins when the family feuds. No one wins when the family feuds, as you can see. But check out Iyanla's video interview, and drop a comment, like this video, drop a comment, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.